This is something I'm really passionate about, and it underpins. Yes, of course. Yeah. Okay. I hope you're going to do something nice, Belinda. This is something I'm really passionate about, and it came across. I kind of all week have been shown by my team and in conversations that this is something I need to talk to you guys about. Lovely. I do like a productive day. So we all have situations where we can't make decisions, where it's hard to make a decision, hard to make a choice. It can feel like a very confusing maze. We don't understand why something is happening to us. We can struggle in our relationships about communication. We can even struggle with being in our own homes. Sometimes that can be a problem. And we seek, because we're taught to seek the answer from without by using our heads. So we kind of go, okay, what are our options? And we look at all the external options. But that ignores the fact that everything is energy. We're energy. Everything around us is energy. And we exist within the flow of energy. So for that reason alone, hi Gwen, and good luck, Gwen, and whatever you're doing at 7 o'clock. Good luck with that. We're energy. We're in the flow of energy. We belong in energy. And so you don't have to be special to tune into energy. You just need to take the time to practice it. Now, obviously, because of this group, I'm going to say to you, you tune in with the help of your higher self. Why? Because I'm passionate about that relationship. But for some of you, you may not feel so passionate about it, but you can still tune into the energy. I think it's easier with your higher self. It's up to you to try and figure out which you find is easier. I'm not here to dictate to you about how you make your connections, but I'm always going to encourage you to do that. So what I wanted to do today was just talk about some really specific examples that I've been watching happening around me, I've been helping people with, and I have understood the power of doing the energetics first. So let's look at decision making first of all. So some of you may know my husband's job's been at risk, and sorry, I got a bit of food stuck in my mouth. My husband's job's been at risk, and for the last kind of 4 or 5 weeks I've been teaching him how to use the energy and understand it. He's incredibly intuitive but has never really cultivated it, or not for a very long time at least. But over the last 4 or 5 weeks, I've been really getting him to notice the flow of energy. And by flow, I mean, is the flow easy? Is it smooth? Is it static? Is it sluggish? Is it like sludge? Does it feel like it's moving with direction and towards a target? Or does it feel like it's aimless and doesn't really know where to go? What does the energy feel like? That is the first thing. So when you're trying to make a decision, so in my husband's case, it was like, what kind of job should I apply for? He had to feel into, first of all, what did the energy of work feel like for him? Okay, was it something that felt good to him? And if it felt good to him, then what kind of job did he want? Which then brought him to the manifestation element, where he had to create his ingredients for his ideal job. Because those ingredients give the energy a direction and a target to go for, right? The energy could have flowed him to any job, but there's no point in having any job if it's not the right job, okay? And so we have been playing with the energy that way, and he's been finessing his manifestation, and it looks like now things are coming together. So what happened was he immediately got referred for an internal transfer. He then got 3 jobs that he applied for and sent the applications for, and only the week before he'd been saying to me, there's a real lack of jobs in my field. And yet since he set this intention, he has had a steady flow of jobs coming up. Now, some have not been totally suitable, some have looked suitable initially and then not proven to be when we felt into the energy again of it. And when we felt into the energy of the jobs that we thought were suitable but were not, what we could feel was the murkiness of that job. In other words, if he had joined the company for that job, it would not have aligned to who he was, and he would have struggled and really hated the job he was in. So that's one way you can feel the energy. My son is at university and he's only been gone a month, but he's been home twice in that time, which is really unlike him. He's really independent. He loves living away at university. He enjoys his course, has a great time with his friends. And I could feel, because I know him really well and I practice this all the time, I could feel something was going on with him, okay? And so I asked him a couple of questions which were really quite non-specific. They were really like, do you like living in your house? Yes. Are your friends not as fun as they used to be? Yes. That's all I asked him. But that gave me the opening to then feel into the energy of his house. And what did I feel? I could feel that the energy was really heavy. Now, he's in a student house, it's a rental, so you've got several owners, you've got landlords, you've got letting agents' energy, you've got the previous students' energies. They're all accumulated in this house, right? So that is affecting my son and his friends. So I know how to clear that energy. So I've started that process. Again, it's about directing the flow of the energy and then giving it a purpose, okay? Lucy mentioned ages and ages ago about some chap who was bothering her, not really getting the message. And at the time, I didn't say it to, I think it just didn't occur to me, or maybe it wasn't the time. But when you have someone with whom you have a relationship with, or who wants a relationship with you, but you know it's not right for you, or you know you need to have a difficult conversation with them, have it energetically first of all. Because in the energetics of having that conversation, you are allowing yourself to talk honestly, you are allowing yourself to talk compassionately, and hopefully with love towards that person. And by love, I don't mean romantic love. I mean love from one soul to another. You are a soul, I am a soul. I'm going to love you just because you exist. I don't need to have a relationship with you if that's not what you want. But if you, and I need you to understand that I'm not interested in you. So this is specifically for Lucy. She can have an energetic conversation with that person and kind of go, I'm not really interested in you. I respect you. I wish you a long and healthy, happy life, but I'd like you to leave me alone. That message, if you connect with your higher self, they will relay it to that person and they'll receive it energetically and unconsciously. It will start to affect their behavior. If you have boundary issues with somebody, you can connect with your higher self, connect with their higher self and kind of go, people, sort out your boundaries. Just because you're my parent, sibling, co-worker, tenant, doesn't matter. There are boundaries to be had here. You're encroaching on them. I need you to respect them. And then state what your boundaries are, right? And in that process, what happens is that their behavior will naturally change. You might need to say something in person, in physical, but it will be better received because you've already had that conversation. If you need to... if you want to speed up your manifestation, that's a really good one. So when I was manifesting this house with my family, I had a deadline of 8 weeks from having my offer accepted to the deadline, because we were trying to get in before the June 30th stamp duty deadline. That was a thing 2 years ago. So I could feel that we were going to complete, but there was a period where almost for a week nothing was going to happen because we were waiting on surveyors, and all around me there was panic going on. my mother-in-law, my husband, they were all like, we're never going to move. The people we were buying from and the people who were buying from us, they were all kind of contacting me in a panic. Can you do something about it? And I was just like, do you know what? I'm a great manifester. I can do this, right? So I sat in my back garden. It was a lovely sunshiny day, sat in my garden, and I felt into the energy of the sale of my house. And actually, it wasn't moving really well. It was a little bit slow. It was moving and we were going to hit our destination, but it was moving slowly. So it was not moving as fast as I needed it to. So I connected in with the energy of the surveyor and my house and found that there was a really poor energy flow to it. So that meant, I need to do some work here. And this is where spiritual intention protocols, which I've mentioned to you guys before, they're like an instruction to energy. That's what I decided to do. And so I asked Athalia, what is the spiritual intention protocol, the SIP I need to accelerate this? And it was energize. It's such a simple one to use, energize. And all I did was I said energize in my mind. I imagined it going to the energy, and I see energy as a flow. So I either see it as a golden stream, which is why on my logo for my business you see this golden ribbon, right? Because that's how I see energy. Some of you might see energy as a pathway. Some of you might see it as a rope or a string. How you see it, it doesn't really matter. It's just the energy flow. A lot of the time when I'm manifesting and I'm targeting money as a manifestation, I see the Amazon River at its widest, at its broadest, at its biggest. That's what I see when I'm manifesting money. So I want you guys to understand that you can empower your manifestations, first of all by tuning into them and then using SIPs on them. Today with my husband's job, he did receive an informal offer 2 weeks ago and we've heard nothing. And I said to him, you can't rely on that, because even though the energy feels really good, we still do need a formal offer. So today at lunchtime, I was like, okay, feel into the energy of this informal offer. How does it feel to you? And he said, it actually feels really good to me, but it feels a bit slow. And I said, try a SIP. And he tried energize. And I said to him, the thing with SIPs is they work quite fast. And so expect some change to happen quite quickly. And in both my case with the house and with my husband's job, within half an hour, he got a call. He was on a Zoom call, and the director in the middle of a Zoom call said, have you heard from the hiring manager? And he's like, no. And so the director said, right, he'll be on the phone to you tomorrow. Okay, fine. So there's some movement. When I was manifesting my house, within half an hour of me energizing the flow to the surveyor, I had a call from him. I explained our situation. He's like, right, got this. I know what to do. I can't come any earlier, but I will put you down for any cancellations, but it's likely it'll be next week. But I guarantee you within 24 hours, your bank will have the survey details, and within 48, the written version will be available for the bank. It's exactly what happened, and we did complete on time. So do the energy work first of all. Oh, that's a lovely one. I got shown my brilliant. Okay, so for that one, you have to be, when you're asking for the SIP, be really clear, Gwen, about what you're asking for, right? So it could be you're asking him to come closer to you, but before you do that, I want you to feel into your readiness of, am I ready to receive him into my life? Because he could hover around you and you not be ready to receive him. Okay, so just feel into that for me before you ask for a SIP. Sandra will give you the SIP. I have no doubt about that. Okay, so I want you to think about energy as something you can use all the time, every day, without fail. If you are having a bad day, you know, the kind of day where you wake up and you feel miserable and you just think, what is the point, right? Feel into the energy flow and ask your higher self, how can I feel better? And how can that lead to me feeling good? And they will show you the energy flow. I did it today. I did a call this morning that left me quite tired. It was quite a long call, a lot of energy being held and being moved around. And I kind of was like, okay, how does my energy feel? Okay, my energy feels a bit tired. And I knew I had this call tonight. What do I do about it? Right, you're going to just close your eyes and you're going to energetically rest. Now, rest is different to sleep. When you're asleep, you're asleep. Sometimes when you're energetically resting, though, a lot can happen to balance out your energy, right? But you're not actually falling asleep. You might read, you might just sit and listen to music. In my case, I was told, no music, just close your eyes and feel the energy. And as I was feeling my own energy, I was like, okay, what do I need to do to feel better? And it's like you need to feel into the energy of what you need to do next. And that was actually a bit of work that I'm hoping to launch soon with you guys. It was feeling into the energy of that. How did that feel to me? Does it feel good to me? Am I ready to launch it? Am I ready to go for it? It's all those things that I was receiving the understanding. Because let's say I want to launch something, but it doesn't feel good to me. Well, why would it feel good to you? Or if I launch something without feeling into, is it something you as my audience want? Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. So I need to understand the energetics. And the other half of energetics is I want you to think about the questions you're asking. Remember, our relationship with our higher selves is a 50-50 relationship, okay? So I want you to think about when I feel stuck, when I feel alone, when I feel helpless, when I feel I don't know which direction to go in, what to do, how to change it, how to feel better. What I want you guys to do is to say to your higher self, how do I feel better? How can I feel the flow of energy so I feel better? That's your first question. Second question might be, why am I experiencing this? Because even in the bad times, they are trying to get you to understand something. I had a fabulous conversation today with one of my friends, and we were talking about how so many people lack abundance and have poor health. And what she received from her higher self was that this is a way that our higher selves help us find the desire for better, to improve our lives, to reach for something more. Well, sometimes that doesn't feel good to us as a human. So you need to tell them, as a physical human, I get what you're trying to do, but if my basic needs are not being met, this is really hard for me and I cannot do what you're doing. Because higher selves have never had a physical existence. They are always coming from a place of abundance and of thriving and of prosperity. They don't know what it's like not to have enough money in the bank, or to lose your job, or to experience loss or death or any of those things, because those things don't exist for them. So it's our job as the physical human of our higher selves to tell them. I recently had a conversation with God and my higher self, and I was like, we're here to prosper and to be abundant, and yet probably 8 billion people, of those 8 billion that live here, 95% don't have enough currency in their lives to meet their basic needs. How sad is that? How do we prosper? How do we find a place of safety if we don't know where our next meal is, or where we're going to lay our head at night and feel safe? Do you see what I mean? So this is your job, is apart from connecting to the energies, talk to your team. Tell them what you're experiencing and say, I want to feel better. I want to know more. I want to feel more. I want to understand more. Show me how to do that. And they can do that. Louise says, when I bought my house, I used a lot of energy. Yeah, there was one weekend in particular where I acted in ways I felt guided to. And by the end of the weekend, everyone was feeling much calmer about the move. And we'd moved forward massively. I'll never forget knocking on the door of our new now house, and the owner opened and said, oh, I'm so glad you're here. I was going to try and find you on Facebook. And we spent an hour smoothing things over. Brilliant, yeah. When I was selling my old house, I went with an estate agent who I knew personally. And this was a case of not listening to the energy, right? Because I had felt that I should go with someone else, but I felt a loyalty to my friend. He'd been my friend for a little while, and so I went with him. And it was dreadful. The service was dreadful, right? To the point where he just said to me, "You've got a very small house and I think you're overreaching." I was like, okay, this is not really great, is it? You know, you're not going to sell my house with the passion I need you to instill in it so I can get my target market price, you know, the price I need for my next house. And so I let them do the first couple of viewings, and then I felt into the energy, and I could just feel how his energy was so lackluster about selling my house. And I was like, I said to my team, right, I want to take over selling this house. I know this house, I know my neighbours, I know the community. I can give him a load more information, anyone who comes through. And then I said to my team, I want you to let me know when the person who's going to make an offer comes through the door for me. And so what happened was, and this, I love how energy works in this instance, because what happened was that, hi Denise, what happened is that the estate agents didn't have enough staff to cover the viewings. And they were telling me, I was like, it's fine, I'll do the viewing. And they're like, really? I was like, I would love to do my own viewings. Thank you very much. And so the viewings happened. I got a low offer. I didn't get a real offer. I got a low offer. And then some more viewings happened. They were like, oh, as you were comfortable doing those, would you mind doing those? I was like, absolutely, no problem at all. And the third time that I did the viewings, as I walked to my door, my team just yelled, they're going to make an offer. And as I opened my door, in front of me was the kind of family I had imagined would buy my house. 2 parents and a young child, because that was what we were when we bought our house, right? 2 parents, young child. And so it's the perfect manifestation, and it was a really good example of me using energetics to sell my house. That was the first bit, and then I used the energetics to kind of help the sale process through. So I want you guys to think about your energetics. I want you to talk, and I want to your teams, and I want you to flow with energy more. So that's what I've been talking about, Denise, is how can you flow with energy more? Hi, Mickey. So you're looking for a new house. Brilliant. Okay, so Gwen, first thing to do is first of all, get a really clear idea of what you're looking for. Okay, so what is the energy of that house going to feel like to you? When we sat down and did that as a family, because I was co-creating this manifestation with my family, because they all live with me. The number one thing we all wanted was space, right? And number 2 was calm. Number 3 was on a flat, right? So it had to be on the flat because my mother-in-law had mobility issues, and we were just tired of walking up steep hills, because that's what we did in our old house. If you went for a walk, you had to go up hills, and we just didn't want that anymore. So it was really interesting what we were co-creating. So just kind of think about what you want the qualities of your new house to be, and then think about location, and use your energetics, use the flow of energy to feel into what feels good to you. I've just been helping someone this week. We literally simulated, we were like, okay, is she going to live in the south of the country? Is she going to live in the north of the country? And we followed the flow of the energy. When I followed the flow of the energy, I could feel that if she came south, it would be okay for a while, but it wouldn't be great. But when she went north, wow, like her energy exploded. It was amazing. So you can use your energy to help you move to the right place for you. And in that moving, you will thrive, right? Because that's what you want. When you move, you want to be able to thrive in that place. I was just on a call talking about energy. Brilliant. Love it. You know, the more we talk about this stuff, the more we normalize it. So I want you guys, I'm going to set you a little challenge. Go around this week, and when someone says, oh, I'm really having a hard time at work, or I'm really finding life shit, I want you to talk to them about energy flow. Introduce the concept to them. Let them understand that they have the power to feel this. If they don't know about it, invite them into the group, right? Because I'm going to be talking about this kind of stuff, and they can re-watch this video. But the more people we get doing this, the better it will be for all of us, okay? Because it means that you make decisions from a place of purity, and that is from a place of it being really good for you, right? The prosperity will come, the abundance will come, security will come, all sorts of things like that will happen for you. Okay, so a sunny garden I can use any time of the day and not overlooked, plus a great workspace as well as living spaces for me. Okay, so I want you to go even deeper into that, okay, because you live in Scotland and your sunshine days will be limited. I mean, in winter it's really dark in Scotland really early, right, when the clocks change. So I want you to think a little bit more about your living spaces internally. You've got the garden bit down pat. Now think about, what do I want my living spaces to feel like? Do I want them to feel really light and bright? Do I want a big kitchen that's great for entertaining? You know, when I want to entertain, not because you have to, but when you want to. Or am I not bothered about a big kitchen because I'm not a great cook? I want you to think about those things, Gwen, and then do that. Love it, Louise. Yeah. So Louise does this fantastic walk every Friday. If you live near Croydon, Louise, you're a woman. She takes people into the woods near her and she does a walk. And you are letting them feel the energy. But now I'm asking you to just take it a step further and talk to them about energy flow, right? Brilliant, Gwen. Okay, that's great. So this is what I wanted to talk to you about, is feel the energy of whatever you're trying to manifest, whatever you want to change in your life. I know Julie's not here today, but Julie has often talked about how challenging her work situation is. So what Julie could do is go into the chamber of God with her higher self and invite in her co-workers' higher selves and just say to them, guys, sort out your behaviour. Stop being pants, right? Stop being gossipy. Stop being low vibe. And because of who Julie's becoming, she can call them with her influence. And that's true of all of you. Any of you guys who are connected to your higher selves, who are doing the work regularly, you are beginning to have influence and impact on the people around you because your vibration is higher than them. One of the reasons my son came home twice in a month, which is really unusual for him, is because he knows when he hangs around me, he feels better. He doesn't need to see me all the time. He just needs to feel my energy. In his general energy, he knows he feels better. And because his house is so low vibe at the moment, he's struggling to be in that house. I'm doing the energy work to raise the vibration of that house. Okay? So you can do this work. You have impact, you have influence. Brilliant. Your work situation is getting better. And sometimes it can be hard, you know, as physical humans, we want an instant change. Sometimes, excuse me. Sometimes as physical humans, we have to wait a little bit, or maybe have the conversation a couple of times before we see the outcomes improve, right? Be patient. The energy knows exactly what it's doing. Thank you, Mickey. Right, let's do some cards while we're here and see what the energy wants to tell us this week, all right? The other thing, so energy flow works in everything, okay? So whether it's food, drink, houses, cars, doesn't matter where it flows it to you. But if you want the energy work to flow, I'll give you another example. I've been doing Pilates with Bryony, one of my super energetic friends, for a while, and I could feel a flow to doing more cardio. And I was like, don't really like classes, don't really know what to do. And I was flowed to a rebounder. I have to say, it's brought so much joy into my house. Everyone just walks in, because we've kept it in the living room. They bounce for a few minutes and they go off and they've got the biggest smile on their faces. Now, what was really interesting in that was when I was feeling the flow of what cardio I should do, I set the intention it had to be fun so that I would want to do it more and more and more. what I didn't realise would happen is that everyone else would join in with that fun. So it's beautiful, right? It's a really fun thing that we want to do. So I just wanted to share that. Yeah, we do want change now, and change can happen really fast, but we have to agree, we have to follow the flows and the nudges, we have to use the SIPs, and we also have to be really clear about the target that we're trying to achieve. What is the outcome we really want? If you can do that, Mickey, change comes quite fast. Okay, so on that note, I shall love you and leave you all to your Tuesday evening. Have a fabulous week. I'm going to be on later this week with a new service that I'm hopefully going to be launching for you. It'll be to launch the wait list. I hope that you guys will be as excited about it as I am. And I'm wishing you a wonderful, wonderful week. Look after yourselves, be kind to yourselves, and know that your higher self is there to help you all the time. Take care now.